The patron saint for today, May 7th, is Saint Rose Venerini. Rose was born on February 9, 1656 in Viterbo, Italy. Her father was Goffredo, who was an accomplished doctor, and her mother Marzia, of an ancient family of Viterbo. She had 4 siblings. When Rose was 7 years old, she made a vow to consecrate her life to God. When she was 20, her fiancé died and she decided to enter the Dominican monastery of St. Catherine. There she learned mediation and silent prayer. However, she had to leave after a few months because her father died, and she wanted to take care of her mother. Then one of her brothers died at only 27 years of age, followed by her mother just 2 months later. Next, her sister married and left home, and then another brother died. She was left with just her last surviving brother at home. When Rose was 24 years old, she began to gather girls and women in her neighborhood at her home to pray the rosary. She soon learned that the everyday woman in her society was deprived of the spiritual life and education, so she felt her calling was to help give Christian formation and education to young women. She dedicated her life to educating young women and opened her first school in Viterbo in 1685. It was the first public school for girls in Italy. She eventually opened over 40 schools. Her congregation was known as Mater Venerini, which means religious teachers Venerini, and it was established to educate girls, usually focusing on those in poorer areas. Rose died on May 7, 1728 at the age of 72 in Rome. Afterwards, miracles were claimed in her name. She was beatified in 1952 and canonized by Pope Benedict XVI on October 15, 2006. Her confraternity was raised to a religious congregation called the Venerini Sisters. They began working with Italian immigrants in the United States in 1909, and then in Switzerland from 1971 to 1985. They established the first daycare centers throughout the northeastern United States. The Venerini sisters also worked in India, Brazil, Cameroon, Romania, Albania, Chile, Venezuela, and Nigeria. Rose Venerini is the patron saint of educators, teachers, and against sexual temptation. Saint Rose Venerini, pray for us.